Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up with McCabe's Pub and Lounge. We are back at our studios in downtown North Platte. Tanner Struckman here, Corey Anderson here from Husker Radio. Nash unable to join us. He was on assignment. He's got a job, so sometimes it's hard to wrestle him away from this. This is our job, so we get to do this whenever we want, right?
We enjoy this.
Yeah. How you doing, Corey?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Doing great. It's going to be a busy end of the week.
Oh man, you got
especially for me.
We'll get into that. You are busy. Holy moly, do you
Yeah.
have a lot going on, and that's a good thing though.
A lot of windshield time, as they say.
That means we've got playoff teams,
Yep.
and that's a good thing. But we'll get into that schedule in just a bit. McCabe's Pub and Lounge, of course, sponsors of Huddle Up here on Husker Radio. I'm going to give them a shout-out. They just did the downtown walk last weekend. I know that was a big success. Always a ton of kids go through that. They're the sponsors of that. And next weekend, they will actually be hosting the Midwest Championship Fighting face-offs, ceremonial face-offs. You know, the UFC, it's our local MMA UFC fights, Midwest Championship Fighting, and they always do the ceremonial stare downs with each other. They do those at McCabe's.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, they're going to do that next Friday. I'm amazed.
Shall we do a stare down, Tanner?
I think that'd be weird. I think that'd be weird right now. But it's always funny when they do these stare downs. I think these guys look like they're going to kill each other right now, and they don't. They back off, and then they go try to do that the next night. So that will be next Friday. They will do that at McCabe's downtown. Of course, always a great place to watch the game, and we'll get into these games. But let's back up. We got to mention Nebraska because they got to win. 7-point win over Northwestern.
Hey, and I was trying to remember the spread. What was
it?
The
Was
spread?
7. It was 7.
It was right at
so
7.
We pushed. So we'll just throw that one out.
Okay, so that wasn't included in our picks. You know, it was, again, a roller coaster ride there. The Huskers got off to a good start. You think, oh, they're going to take control of this thing and not let them back in when they got a 2-score lead. And then just like that, we're tied again. And then we're holding our breath and seeing who can make the plays at the end and finally put a drive together and made the defensive plays we need.
It just feels like Nebraska gets on the edge of blowing these teams out. And as you said, and then they give up a touchdown drive, and you're like, okay, you're still up a touchdown, and then a pick thrown, and it's just like they don't have that put the foot on the throat. I mean, I don't know
they
why
don't know
that
how to
is.
do it.
No, and they haven't figured that out. There's that bugaboo, and that. Now, to be fair, they're winning some of these games still. In the end, they got the win, 28-21, bowl eligible. You got that out of the way. Nice to get that done.
That
in
was
October.
the best thing. Yes.
4 games left. You know, and at the time, I would have said Northwestern's the easiest in the last 5. UCLA, I don't know which team's going to show up because they've looked terrible. They've looked okay. Penn State, I don't know how good Penn State is, although they played Iowa really tough. So, and then, of course, Iowa to end the year. Looks like, some are already talking, can Iowa make the playoffs?
I think Iowa's third best team in the league right now.
I would say right now, I think you have to agree with that. USC this weekend, that's going to be one of our picks, so we'll get into that in just a bit. But let's talk some high school football because that is today. We got playoff football for 11 and 6-man starting up today. Second round for 8-man starting up today. So, the state's on fire. This is a fun weekend here when you get everybody going. And of course, some seasons came to an end. I do want to give a shout-out to the Bulldogs. North Platte closed out their season with a 51-7 win over Lincoln High.
They probably wish the season would go on a while longer. They're just catching stride here at the end.
I mean, that was – now, you wonder, Lincoln High, real motivated to come out. I don't know if they were a playoff team. They weren't too far out, so I would think they were pretty motivated. And I don't know what a win would have done for them. But credit to the Bulldogs. Just, spanking them from top to bottom. They took control of that game right away and got her done. That was fun to see them. Seasons ended for St. Pat's, of course. They lost to Johnson Brock last Thursday in the playoffs. And the news came out just earlier this week that Coach Kevin Dodson's retiring. And that is I kind of had my thoughts that might happen, but I got confirmation after the Johnson Brock game. He wanted to wait to tell the team, and so that just came out yesterday. 27 seasons at one school. His assistant, Brent Offenkamp, also 27 seasons, both retiring at the same time. Wanted to give him a shout-out. He's been a good friend, and he's obviously been one of our best area coaches. And just the fact that he stayed at one school for 27 years is almost unheard of anymore.
Well, even 15 years anymore is extremely rare to find a coach that coaches that long or a head coach of one program in one place.
Right.
Dodson's again one of the great coaches in Western Nebraska over the in this century, you'd have to say, and St. Pat's has really been blessed with two real good ones back to back.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, with Mark Skillstad
Yeah.
before him. And so Brad Braithwaite takes that program over that's going to have 3 coaches in like 40 years, 40-something years. So that should be a fun one next year when they get that going. Perkins County season came to an end. In the 8-man ranks, 8-man 2, Maxwell lost to Mullen. That was a game you had. Mullen plays on. We'll get into that in a moment. So let's go into the playoffs now because we'll start at C2. Hershey going to Hardington Cedar Catholic tonight. It's a 5 o'clock game. That is a good 4.5, 5 hour, probably 5 hour on a bus road trip way up north. They're the 16, playing the 1. Hershey lost to Mitchell, and we had talked a couple weeks ago. We thought they needed to go 1-1 in their final 2 games. They went 0-2 and still got in. However, hurt their seed, no doubt. So that's a tough matchup going to the 1 seed.
It will be, but Hershey's taken instrumental strides under Coach Steer, and just to get in the 16-team field is a big accomplishment for the Panthers, no matter how it comes out on Friday.
I believe it's been 8 years since they last qualified. So, yeah, credit to the Panthers. And with the way they play the game, run the ball, they're going to keep it lower scoring. They're doing it right. I think that's going to play into their game a little bit better than it would for most. In Class D2, Sandhill Sedford, a rematch with Anselmo Myrna, 12-5. Anselmo Myrna won a 2-point game to open the year. That's a fun rematch in the second round. That should be awesome.
It should be. I'd give the edge to Sandhills. Thetford they're just in the playoffs and make deep runs almost every year. So I would go on that basis, but you just never know. That's kind of a rivalry game. Those schools not too far apart.
Right.
Yeah.
They got fortunate because there are some road trips in this opening round and second round. Mullen, one of them. 11 going to 6. They go to Wynot for a 5 o'clock game tonight. That's a road trip. You're going to go there. We'll talk about that in a bit. But for volleyball, but Mullen on the road, it's a long ways to go. But hey, Broncos are another team. They've got one of the longest active streaks in the playoffs for consecutive years in the state. Top 4, I think, in the state that's active. So they're a program that knows what to do when it comes to November.
Yeah, and they really controlled that game against Maxwell last week. I was really impressed, and Alex Werner had a 200-yard-plus game. And Mullen's one of those teams that, just given their tradition, the mindset of the players, they won't back down. This will be the best team they've seen probably by far this year. But I guarantee you, their mindset is we're going to go there and we're going to pull the upset. That's just the way those kids in that program thinks.
Halloween upset. I like it. Wallace, D6 now, gets into the playoffs. They're the 10 seed. They go to 7-seeded Hampton. That is a 7 o'clock game in the 6-man ranks. You're going to have that one for us on KX 104 tonight. You'll be leaving for too long here. It's in Hampton, north of York, right?
Just north. You'd actually just take the interstate all the way to the Hampton exit, but it is kind of north, a little bit east of York, yeah.
And what's their mascot?
They are the Hawks.
The Hawks. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Hampton.
Purple and gold are
By the way,
colors, yeah.
Did you notice you got the latest kickoff in 6-man?
I did notice
by
that.
far. The next game is at 6.
Yeah, and there's only one at 6, and most of them are at 4 or 5. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So you got the night game there. All eyes on Wallace Hampton.
That's okay. I mean, originally I was thinking, well, I'll get home late, but I can sleep in. But now I'm going to be staying at a hotel in Columbus and then heading up to Wynot.
We'll have that game for you. Yeah. That segues right in because we're going to have that game on KX 104. And then we're going to give a shout-out to the Paxton Tigers volleyball team, who kind of eked right into the district finals. We kind of had written them off.
Well, it was just a kind of, is to parallel it with Hershey football. They thought they had to win to get in the tournament, and turns out they didn't. They lost in their sub-district semifinal, and they were outside the top 16, but got some points from Sandhills Thedford moving into first division that bumped them up into that top 16. Their reward, a trip to number 1 Wynot.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll have that Saturday afternoon. Start time is at
3 o'clock.
That'll be on KX 104 as well. So you're gonna just go hang out in Hampton, and get a hotel somewhere in between Hampton and Wynot, and get some playoff volleyball and football. And so district final, of course, remember, that's you can get a wild card into district final. You can't into state.
That's right.
It's been a couple years now, but It's always there's rule changes every year, so we kind of have to remind ourselves of what they are. And so that'll be a chance to go to state. It is a 16-1 matchup, but we'll see what the Paxton Tigers can do there in that one. Let's get on to our picks now. As we don't have Nash here today, he again was out on assignment, but I've got his picks for him. So we'll start with Vanderbilt at Texas. Vandy coming in, 1 loss. Texas, 2 losses. Texas at home though, 2.5-point favorites in this matchup with Vanderbilt, who's got a high-powered offense. They are ranked number 9 in the country. Road dogs, but what do you say you on Vandy, Texas?
Vandy deserves it. I think they're the better team in this matchup, and I think they're going to win.
Brad's pretty confident.
Yeah.
I am going with Texas on this, mainly because it's at home, and this is a toss-up to me, and home just kind of skews it a little bit. I don't think Texas writes themselves out of the college football playoff yet. I think they will at some point, but I don't know that they will. And I don't even know if 3 losses necessarily does it, although, they're quite a ways down right now in the rankings. They're going to have to do pretty well from here on out. But I'm going to say they get a big win and keep themselves alive in the college football playoff. Nash, for what it's worth, he's got Vanderbilt. He's got Vanderbilt winning this one.
Smart guy.
Over Texas, or at least covering. Let's go on to an interesting one because I keep following this team and they just keep winning. Cincinnati, 17th ranked Bearcats, of course, only lost to Nebraska in the season opener. Brandon Sorsby still has yet to throw an interception, which is unbelievable. Since the game-losing interception against Nebraska, this is their toughest test so far to date, though. At 24th ranked Utah. Utah coming off of a spanking over Colorado. They look pretty good. Utah, 10-point favorites, and it's interesting because the rankings, Cincinnati's got them by 7 in the college in the rankings, but yet are 10-point dogs on the road.
This is tough, and I was going back and forth thinking about this. I mean, you could think it's Cincinnati's time to lose, that they're not quite as good as the record would suggest, but I'm going with the Bearcats simply because it makes Nebraska look better when they keep winning. So I'll go with them.
With a 10-point spread, you feel like as long as it's a close game, you're going to win that. I'm going Utah. I think Utah is they played really well as of late. And I think Cincinnati's going to get tripped up. I just don't think this run I'm not sold that – I haven't watched every one of their games, but I'm not sold that a team that could only throw for 67 yards against Nebraska, and Nebraska's got a good secondary, but it's been beat. It's been beat more than that every other game by far, and there's no doubt about it that they can continue to run the table without slipping up once. But we'll see. I'm going to go with Utah, and that's a big spread, so I'm going to hope that's a blowout. And Nash, for what it's worth, surprised me. He picked Utah as well.
He did.
Yeah. We're going final game in college, our own game. USC at Nebraska. We'll have it for you on KODY tomorrow. Pregame at 2:30. KX104 coverage at 5:45. USC. Road favorites, 6.5 points at Nebraska. Blackout night game. This is going to be an awesome atmosphere. There is no doubt about it.
It will be, and this could go either way too. But as far as I keep coming back to my thought that Nebraska hasn't beat a top 25 team since 2016.
Yeah,
and it's been nine years, and until they do it, I love the Huskers, and I'll root for them with everything I have. I'll be listening on the way home from my match, and why not? But I will pick USC to win and cover the spread. I just don't have much faith that the Huskers can come through against one. USC's shown themselves to be a top 25 team legitimately.
It is 6.5, so a touchdown obviously change. I mean that you're not going to get hung up on the 7 there with the hook, but I'm going Nebraska on this.
To win or just to break the spread?
Do I have to answer that? I think I'm going to say they covered the spread. Okay. I don't know if they win this game, but I do think they match up better than with USC. The USC doesn't scare me as much as a team like even Minnesota or Iowa, certainly. Big Ten traditional teams with the lines that dominate, because that is certainly what is going to hurt Nebraska this year. Their weakest portion, easily the lines on both sides of the ball.
Can the Husker defensive line get pressure on Mayava?
Right.
And can the Husker offensive line hold up with all the injuries
Sure.
they have taken and the shuffling they've had to do to patch it together? can Emmett Johnson stay alive?
Right.
Can
Yeah.
he dance?
I
Can
feel
he
like
keep
we're
dancing and keep from getting the big hits?
Yeah, I mean, I think USC matches up with Nebraska maybe a little bit better than some of those traditional powerhouses. They don't do what the Big Ten does, like the other Big Ten powerhouses have done, or long-standing Big Ten teams. So I think Nebraska can cover this. Nash has got USC for what it's worth in this game. He's been right with you. I've picked Nebraska like several weeks in a row here, and I did not pick him against Minnesota, and that's the one I won. So maybe I should stick with that. But you know what? Call me a homer. That's okay. Finally, in the NFL, Kansas City Buffalo. Obviously, a huge game in the AFC. KC has figured it out. They are on a roll right now. Boy, their last 3 games, they look dynamite. Buffalo's 5-2 after losing 2 straight. They got back in the win column last week. They're at home, 2-point favorites over the Chiefs.
Wow. I mean, flip a coin on this one. I mean, it always goes down to the wire. I haven't looked at the weather forecast. Did you see a weather forecast? Because it
That's a
could
good
get dicey
question.
in Buffalo. I like the way the Chiefs are playing right now. I think the Chiefs are going to cover the spread and get the win. I mean, Buffalo's only favored by 2 points. So I'll go with Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. Their defense has been playing pretty well, too.
Nash has got Buffalo at home -2. I'm going Kansas City, only one we agreed on so far.
Okay.
But I agree. Chiefs they look like they're back. I mean, they didn't look like themselves, and they look like a team that's ready to be a playoff team again. Of course, the Broncos are looking pretty good in that division too, so that's a division to watch. But I think the Chiefs are certainly, and I think they get a big win on the road to really announce that they're back again and looking like the real deal. Travis Kelce's playing good again. I mean, he's playing better than he did all of last year. Mahomes has looked really good. I think the Chiefs are going to get this one done on the road. For what it's worth, I didn't put up the running totals, but let's go ahead. We pushed last week. Nebraska Northwestern, right on the spread. Vegas nailed it. -7 is what we had it at when we filmed. So that one's a push. We moved that one out. You went 2-1, only lost LSU. I went 1-2. Nash went 3-0, and he has taken a 1-game lead. Nash at 19-16. I'm 18-17. You're 14-21. Hearing in kind of the final third here of the college football season and second half of the NFL season here. As again, we get our picks in, and I want to give a shout out to McCabe's Pub and Lounge. Of course, you got volleyball Huskers at Wisconsin. Maybe their toughest test in a while. I don't know if it's a 3-0 sweep or not.
And I actually think this could be a trip-up game
Yeah.
for the Husker ladies. I mean, they just been mowing everybody down, but Wisconsin always seems to, even when the Huskers are a better team, which clearly they are this year, that atmosphere is tough atmosphere, and it won't be a letdown by our group. I think Danny has them playing well, and I think she coaches that they're not going to have a letdown. But the atmosphere will certainly be on Wisconsin's side. This is, to me, it's a coin flip game, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Huskers sweep either. So,
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it could go either way. I think the first set probably is going to determine whether it goes 3 or 5 right there. If Wisconsin takes the first set, it'll be a 5-setter.
I think Nebraska and Texas might as well just get the title played because it seems they're on a collision course to play
Sure
each
seems
other
that way.
at this point. So you can watch that game at McCabe's tonight, and of course Sunday they play against Oregon. Of course, Husker football tomorrow night, 6:30. If you're not going, go to McCabe's. It's a great place to watch a game. And I wanted to give a shout out to a little Major League Baseball. I know you're a baseball guy. We got Game 6 of the World Series tonight. That shifts. Is that in
Toronto?
Toronto. This is a. Toronto's got the 3-2 lead, correct?
Toronto took the 3-2 lead with a win on Wednesday, and I believe they're going to close it out tonight.
Oh, all right. Did you stay up for the 18-inninger?
I tried to, but I fell asleep.
How far did you get?
The last I remember is Kershaw coming in, and I think that was the 11th or 12th inning.
It makes you feel good then. You didn't miss it by, like 5 minutes. You missed it by probably
I didn't miss any scoring until the walk-off by Freeman.
Right. I was driving back, and I noticed it was in the 15th inning for my volleyball game, and I was like, wow, that's going a long time. And then I was like, I went to bed and realized, oh, wow, they went quite a bit more. So, All right, there you go. That closes out Huddle Up with McCabe's Pub and Lounge. Playoff football, Wallace at Hampton tonight. Volleyball district final, Paxton tomorrow goes to Wynot. You enjoy those.
Oh, yeah, certainly. Anytime you get a call, something that continues, either ends your season or continues your season, those are fun. Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll have them for you on Husker Radio, and of course, all the Huskers as well. Enjoy your weekend. This is Huddle Up with McCabe's Pub and Lounge.